welcome back to That's What She Said. My name is Caridad.
Marche.
Manal.
And today, y'all, we have a very exciting episode. We are talking all things sex toys. All right, so I feel like we talked about last time, like, did our parents actually talk to us about sex? I don't feel like we got into it, though. Like,
We didn't.
No, we did. We started getting to their sex.
that's right. We talked about when we witnessed them having sex or heard them having sex, except for you, Manal. You were like, no, you saw none of that.
My parents never had sex, but they had 4 kids.
So I think about this thing, right? Is like my mom never talked to me about sex. Like what happened, how she found out that I was having sex. And I'll leave my age out of it because I don't want you guys to know how much of a whore I was. But my boyfriend at the time went to juvenile hall. Like he had, I know.
Bad boy.
You know how I do. And I was writing him these letters, like these 4-page letters, like they were crazy, and I would go on to like all this detail, and I put the wrong zip code. And so it got sent back.
No,
and my mom's nosy ass was like, what is she talking about? And opens it and reads it, and it's like in detail of like our first time, and like my mom was away, and like it was Martin Luther King weekend. Like it's like all these things I'm throwing in there because I'm a writer. And so she found out, and she was like devastated. When did your parents find out that you were getting it in?
Well, my mom. So it was tricky for me, right? Because my family just thought I was straight. And they thought that I was out there. I always had this like older personality, very mature, very motherly. So, and I don't know about every other culture, but I know in the Black culture, they consider that being fast, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my gosh, she's so grown. She's so fast. And it was like, no, I'm just mimicking all the women around me. But so they just assumed that because I was that way that I was having sex.
And you were the oldest, right?
No, actually I was a girl amongst a whole bunch of boys.
Oh, okay.
And then I remember my mom took me to the doctor. I was 14, and I was like, I'm not having sex.
Oh my
and
God.
she made me get an exam, a gynecological
see if you were.
Yes.
Wow. How
And
can
not
you
even
tell?
Her reason was, I don't believe you. I just want you to be checked out. And I'm like, I'm not. So it was literally, and the doctor, I can't tell you if she's a virgin or not.
Right.
But but if you want me to check her out, I guess I'll do what I gotta do. But
This poor doctor.
yeah,
It was going to be like, what do you want me to say?
so terrible because I had to get the whole exam and I was still a virgin.
So what, and that is, by the way, just for people men basically, or it's not a fun exam. Like it's this cold metal speculum, why have we not progressed?
Yep.
Why don't we have anything better? Like we got to create something better, but there's this cold metal speculum that goes in and like they crank it open and it just like opens you like it's awful.
Yeah.
And at 14?
That's invasion of privacy.
It is.
Like you are all up in my stuff before I'm even ever all up in
Right.
my stuff. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
That's when I found out we had another hole.
Oh my
I
God.
promise. That's when I found out that we had. I was so naive, but
But that tells your innocence.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, what do you mean another hole? You're talking about the butthole?
no, like the pee hole, the
Oh,
The
that, like,
penetration
yeah, the
hole.
pee doesn't all come from there. Yeah.
yes. I thought it did.
Oh yeah, for the
And
longest.
then I was like, oh, what's that? And that's when I found out. But other than that, like my mom, no one never knew. Like I lost my virginity at 19.
Ooh, what a good
Yeah,
girl.
So 14.
Right.
Little did she know.
And it was a woman. Mano.
Wait, I have a question, a follow-up question real
Me
quick.
too.
to that.
Oh my God.
Because
All your
I
stories
just,
need
I just
follow-ups.
want to know, did she take you after the teddy bear incident?
yes.
Let me think back.
You gotta
know
go to
what?
episode 1 to get
Yes.
the teddy bear episode. The teddy bear
it was
thing.
definitely after the teddy bear incident. And the only reason why I remember because we moved upstairs, and I remember I had to walk upstairs after the exam. And was like, this is. So yeah, it was after.
Okay.
So what was this? What came of the whole like appointment and everything? Like, was she just like, all right, well, the doctor can't tell me what, but I'm just glad we came in here and did it. Like, what was the summary?
Well. So I don't know about you guys. When I first started menstruating,
I don't know. It starts with men.
Menstruating?
That's the hard
when
part.
I first started, did you guys like start then stop? in the beginning.
What do you mean? Like
What do you mean?
throughout
Yeah.
that week?
Like I got it at 14. I got it on my birthday.
Oh.
And
Oh,
then
wow, happy birthday.
Right. And then it came maybe 2 months after that, then another. Like it wasn't consistent every month.
no.
So I think my mom was just like, "Are you pregnant?"
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
get that from a parent standpoint.
Yeah. And I was like, "Mom, and the doctors were telling her like it's normal. It's puberty. Like
Yeah.
it happens." But she thought I was pregnant at 14.
Well,
Oh my
I
goodness. Can you imagine? being
I
pregnant
lost
at
my
14?
virginity at 13.
Okay.
So
Oh,
parents be
that
oh my.
like?
Well, so my boyfriend was 14. 14.
I was like, wow.
No, he was 15. He was 15 or 16, 2 or 3 years older than me. So like he knew what he was doing. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was horny as hell. We talked about the stuffed animal thing, which again you have to go to episode 1 for that.
Episode
But
one, a lot of animals, a lot of stuffed animals.
But I mean, my hormones were like out of control, and like he knew what he was doing, and that made it like all the more better. But still, my first time was like absolutely like it wasn't awful. It just like wasn't what I expected. Like I was just like, no, it wasn't even painful. So then I was like confused. I was like, oh my god, I got a wide set vagina because like his dick was like a
Or
great
maybe he had a
size.
small-
Like
I was about to say, or maybe he had a
no, he had a great size dick. Like to this day, I'm like, hey man, you did your thing. But and he was great at like fingering and like all the things that like later
was
on in
15?
life I was like, oh my god, people suck at this. Yes, he was very experienced. Yeah, he was a pro.
Yeah.
Because for you to say that now,
No, I know.
experience, you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
And I
you're
had
really
given up on that. The only thing he didn't do is he didn't eat me out, and I at the time I didn't know anyways, and so but that was like something he did not do. I wonder to this day if he doesn't do it. I feel like I want to like hit him up.
He's
Hey, do you
missing
still
out.
not eat out? Because you need to like grow up. But no, he knew what he was doing. But I just remember my vagina was. I didn't even like feel like pain or anything. And another thing. I never had like my cherry pop or so 5% of women aren't born with hymens.
Right.
And I think, yes, I think I'm part of that 5% because to this day I've had no, and I don't like horseback ride. Apparently that's a thing. But like, I don't know.
I wish I could say that.
Your first
because
time
my
hurt?
first time was horrible.
Mine too.
I hated it. It was the worst thing ever. I was like, I am never having sex again because this does not feel good. I was in pain the whole time. Then I was bleeding. I was like, ew, why do people do this all the time?
Yeah, that's what I
Like,
said.
I was miserable, and I was like, I'm never going to do this again. So, yeah, my first time was definitely different than yours.
I have a question. It's like a follow-up answer to that. You know what I realize, and I wonder how many women actually go through this. It has to be like an astronomical amount. I didn't know that I was allergic to condoms.
Oh.
So I swear to you, for like the first 2 years of me having penetration sex, it felt like fire. And I could not understand
That's
it. I
horrible.
thought, I was like, is it too big? Is it too dry? Like
Yeah.
I figured everything out except for the
allergy.
condom.
And that's so sad because I feel like if sex was more of an open thing that we talked about, like, then you would have learned that, like, that's not what it's supposed to feel like. But we just go through life trying to figure it out ourselves and then realizing that, like, oh, that's not normal.
And the rubber condoms are made of latex, and most dildos are made of latex. So even my thing was, okay, well,
So everything was bad.
Everything was bad. I couldn't understand. I was like, oh, I'm just allergic to sex. And so I
Thank
tried
God you figured that was not
lambskin.
it.
Right. I tried lambskin condoms, which they work great, but they smell awful. They smell like meat.
Well, and lamb
never
to me
smelled
has
those
like this
before.
interesting aftertaste, and so now I feel like I need to go buy a lambskin condom just to smell
I
it.
should have bought some for show and tell.
Yeah,
but-
let's do that
But
next
yeah,
time.
they
Next episode.
smell awful. It smells like meat. So now I discovered cyberskin dildos.
Cyber?
I don't even know what does
It's-
that mean.
Is it from space?
I know. It's like, is
made
it not
with
real?
NASA
like, is it
technology.
really?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is
Those
it from space?
astronauts, man, they could do it all.
It's
They're
amazing.
over there making condoms.
I'll let you touch it later.
Oh,
It's amazing.
please.
It's amazing.
What?
Smell it, touch it. I
It
so many
doesn't
things.
smell like rubber because it's not rubber.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Wow.
So-
I had no idea that even existed.
Yeah. Cyberskin.
When I was first having sex,
Sex with aliens.
it's meta sex.
I know, right? She was all in the metaverse.
But this is like I'm being like so open and honest on this show because it's just like fuck it.
Why not? Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, and we're women and we go through this shit. But so when I was first having sex with my first boyfriend, we were not using condoms, and I ended up getting pregnant at 15.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was very scary. And his whole logic to this day, I'm like, who the fuck says that? He goes, oh, I didn't know my sperm worked. I didn't think my sperm worked.
I mean, in his defense, he was 15.
Yeah.
But you just came inside me and didn't tell me?
Oh, he didn't tell you?
No, he didn't tell me. And then later on was like, oh, yes, I did that because I didn't know my sperm worked.
What? I always wanted to ask you guys, and I get different responses from straight women. Do you don't feel that when someone ejaculates inside
I did
of you?
not.
Do you feel it?
Well,
I feel it.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think.
Where do you feel it at? In the walls? Does it hit the back?
Come out the mouth.
No, you
there
feel
it
it
is.
because I hate you guys.
Could you imagine if it came out all your orifices?
I hate you guys. That would be disgusting. I'll be like, you know what?
You
I
get a
can't.
meeting at work like, I'm so sorry,
can't.
guys.
Ew.
My husband would not stop this morning.
He came all over me. I don't know what to tell you. Curls are popping because of it.
Right. It probably makes for great hair products.
It probably does.
Hey, might, but I feel it because like it feels different in a sense of like the motion and the movement is different at that point because it's like
Oh, definitely.
And then on top of that, you can feel it internally because it's so much more moist than it already is. So it's just like it's like a flood a little bit. You know?
And I think my husband, and this is politically incorrect, so I'm not gonna say it, but he gets like, oh my God, what's another word for this? I can't even think about it. But he gets like I'm just like, are you gonna die? Are you okay? Like when he comes, like I'm just you know what I'm saying? Yeah, his climax is like, I'm like, are you okay? And he's young, you know what I mean? Like he's not old.
She's like, are you okay? You gonna die?
But it just cracks me up because I'm like, oh my God, like I can't even watch him during that moment because I'm like, who is that? Like I don't even know who that person is.
Girl, you got the power.
I don't know.
She's snatching souls.
Like,
That's
okay.
what's happening.
I don't remember being able to feel, but also I'm not on birth control. And I'm still fertile, so we're on the pull-out method because I ain't having no more kids.
Okay.
Oh.
But I'm not using condoms. That's why I got married. F those condoms. So we're out here risking it all. He pulls out except like one day after my period.
Would he ever consider a vasectomy?
Yes, and we should definitely have a whole section on that
true.
because there's like so many like misconceptions about it. He actually had the appointment and it was during COVID and he goes to the appointment to get the vasectomy. Oh no, it was like a consultation or something and the doctor was like, sorry, I'm not feeling well. I'm not in today. And then he just like never rescheduled it. Yeah. And then he goes,
be a sign.
and then he goes, it's a sign. And I was like, ain't no signs here.
Ain't no sign.
The sign was called back.
No. I'm not mad
In
at
my
you,
head,
girl.
everything is a sign. Like if things don't work, if I don't get somewhere, if my car, like every single time something happens, I'm like, hey, it's a sign.
Yeah, it is a truth though. It is signs. I mean,
No,
maybe
no
you
signs
can
here.
have our baby. You ever thought about being a surrogate?
Oh, all the
there you
time.
go.
I said to my sister-in-law, because at the time they were having some issues, and I said, if it comes down to it, like I'll have a baby for you. Like I've always thought about that. I'm just the idea of sacrificing your body and then
essentially
giving the
your
child
life.
away, and then you still have the milk. Like it's so much. Shout out to the people that do it, but yeah, it's a lot.
I'll pay you for your milk.
I mean, you have to take my milk. You gotta breastfeed. My mom's a lactation consultant, so I can't say anything else. You gotta breastfeed.
I'll take all your milk.
Good.
Oh, we could talk. Let's
We can
talk about
talk.
this.
We can talk. Keon won't be happy, but
I was like, see,
I'm
that's
over
what
here
I'm
like, babe, I'm terrified.
oh, I know, huh?
So
Next thing
terrified.
you know, she's having everybody's baby.
I know,
I know
right?
I'm over here with like triplets. Like, yeah, so we still getting
It's
it
one
in.
from now, one from Michelle.
Oh, that's a good
we're
point though. Pregnancy sex. Oh my God,
I can
pregnancy
imagine
sex.
how horny you be.
Well, not only are you so horny, but you're so much more wet.
Yeah.
Like it's this crazy thing. It's like a slip and slide. Like it's
best
just
friend.
So that's
it's
all
out of
right.
control. It's great.
I'm like, it sounds like it'd be.
But
some
Keon had this thing where he didn't want. Almost like he didn't. Well, he got past it. He didn't want to come inside me at first though, because he's like, I don't want to be shooting my baby in the head, and I was like, that's not how it works.
Can you imagine the baby's like dodging?
Right,
all
like, oh damn, they're getting it again.
Damn.
But yeah, once you get past that, the greatest thing is that they can just like shoot inside you, and there's you're not getting pregnant again.
That's not true.
Well, you can.
I saw this article.
It's a small percentage.
Few articles where women got pregnant during their last trimester.
No.
And then you have this baby, and then the doctors realize you still have another baby inside of you growing.
I rebuke thee. I'm not doing that. There's no way.
Yeah,
It's got to be
small
some
percentage
rare
that you can get pregnant again
cases.
while you are pregnant, though.
That's blasphemy. I can't.
Yeah.
If those sperm are determined, they get all the way.
We are getting in there.
They're like, I'm coming in.
Right?
Ain't no way.
That's wild.
So you can feel the sperm.
So also,
It's a slip
okay.
and slide party.
So I want to talk too about this thing because this is a debate that I constantly have with people, and I know we talked a little bit about it last time, but not on the actual show. I want to know your opinion in a train versus a threesome, because the jury is out for me. I feel like as long as there's 3 people, it's a threesome. But when I think of train, like, I think of one girl and then a guy comes in and fucks her. Maybe he leaves. Doesn't have to be in the rules. But then another guy comes in. You know what I mean? I think of that as this thing that's happening to this woman, but it's not something where everybody together is doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think it could be both.
There you go.
I think it can be both. But okay, if the guy's fucking her and then he leaves and then another guy fucks her, or maybe he's watching, I don't know. Where do you draw the line between threesome? I mean, if he leaves, it's not a threesome anymore, right? But then it was a sum of 3 at some point.
I was confused. I didn't know what the difference was between a threesome and a train. And then I asked some friends. I was like, listen, I'm going to have this thing that we're going to be talking about sex. So I need to know what this is before I start talking about it. And they're like, and this is where it gets confusing because they're like, if it's a guy and 2 girls, it's a threesome. But if it's a girl and 2 guys, it's a train.
I think that's
Bullshit.
sexist.
That's very sexist.
And I was like, wait, is that what it is? Because
It's still 3 people regardless of gender.
And that's what I said. And I was like, and why is that? And they were like, well, because if it's 2 guys and a girl, then the choo-choo train is connected. I don't know. I honestly don't remember.
I see what you're saying, though, because, like, if his dick is in, let's say she's bent over, right? This is a hypothetical, right? She's bent over. His dick is in her mouth. The other guy's dick's in her vagina, butthole, whatever. I
yeah.
get
That's
that
a
about the
threesome,
connectors.
That's what they said.
I get if we're thinking about a
train versus
caboose
threesome.
situation, though.
Yeah.
Caboose is such a funny word. But I think about, I guess it's a connector thing, but I don't know. It just seems so, like, the connotation of train just seems negative to me.
And of course, like you said, the sexism behind it. I'm starting to think that men made that shit up because they know that they can't usually go to 2, 3, 4 women. Women, we can take it all night if we wanted to. You know what I mean? They don't have that luxury. Like once the balls is empty, they empty.
What good are you? Get out of here, scram.
Right.
And women can just go and go and go. So I think it was just like, I don't know, I might be thinking too much into it, but I just think it's sexist. And why is it that it's not as seen as sexy if it's like 2 men and a girl? Why is it more sexy for
Well, you're absolutely right. And I had this conversation with Keon because I was like, I'm going to just continue to put him on blast, I guess. But sorry, we're married. Don't watch the show. So
like you got to pay for this bend over.
because I asked him, I was like, well, what about 2 guys? Like, what if it was me and you and somebody else? And he had to really think about it. And he was like, well, like, what if I accidentally, like, brush up against his hand? Or, like, what if we accidentally make eye contact? Or, like, something like that. And I'm just like, oh, my God, that's so many variables that I don't care about.
Right. Just do it. No.
He's like,
It's just wild to me.
But it's
But I could go
interesting.
get another girl and it's going to be...
Yeah,
Let's
Shantae
go.
feels
Let's
the
do
same
this.
way. We talk about threesomes all the time, and because she's a stud or a masculine presenting woman, I'm like, for me, it's all the same. Like once we get in the bedroom and the lights go out, we are all women, okay? Regardless of what. So, but to her, she's
all
just
women.
like, nah, it's like a stud. I'm like,
So it can't be... So her thing is it can't be another stud.
no, it has to be a feminine.
Okay, see?
Oh,
It's a-
wow.
I like the idea of a stud because she probably won't get this far in the episode.
Oh, she's going to hear all
She's
this.
asleep.
All of this.
But I like the idea of a stud because it's like what the world gets to see is this masculine woman, right? But what I get to see when we get home is all titties and ass. And I'm like, they only knew. I be looking at her brushing her teeth like, you are shaped like a bad bitch. So
You can hide it all you want.
So I like the idea of a stud. It's kind of like dress up almost for me.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like my little kinky play in my mind.
I love that.
Talk about dress up.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like, and no, but Manal, actually, have you had that conversation before I move on?
About threesome?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been the same discussion. He was like, well, I don't know. Is this a trick question? He's like, is this a trick question? What you talking about threesomes? Am I going to get in trouble for answering? But I feel like I don't think we ever really discussed it. But I think the times we did discuss it was like, I mean, if you want another girl, I mean, I'm down for it. And I was like, well, what about another guy? And he's like, nah,
Absolutely
doing
not.
that. And he's like, that's not even a question. I'm like, well, I mean, that's a little hypocritical. How are we allowed to bring another girl to the room? But not even that I even honestly really thought about it, but I was just, being a devil's advocate, like, well, that's not fair. Why can't we have a guy in the room? And he's like, we ain't doing that. He's like, no, it's either nothing at all or another girl. And I'm like, want. Like I said, it was literally not even something that I thought of by myself. I was just asking it, and I always ask literally so many hypothetical questions that he's like, every time I ask a question, he's like, here she goes with her hypotheticals. What crazy questions we got now?
Good to know, though.
Yeah, it is.
I will say that I have two close friends that have a lot of threesomes. And one of them, well, both of them have had them with their husband, another guy, and themselves. And at first I was like,
oh, they allowed to.
Right.
So cool.
It's, I don't want to say anything further because I don't want her to be mad at me because I know she's going to support and watch this.
Don't say no name.
But I just feel like she was so dissatisfied.
Oh,
They've done it with women and it was great on both ends. But she said with a man, she said she was so dissatisfied. She did it like 2 or 3 times, and she's like, the guys, they get lazy. Like they come and then they're just like, ugh.
Oh,
like whatever, and then she's just left with whoever's left, like
Right.
whoever's still standing, and who's left? And she's like, and every occasion she left unsatisfied, dissatisfied.
Oof.
So I was like, But she said women, they were all over the room, they were having fun, and
I would love to know from people, like, what is the vetting process, right, for like bringing another person into your bedroom? Because I've often thought about it and I'm very interested in it. But I have this thing, and it's my same hang up with porn, is that I'm so fucking particular about this person, right? Like, she gotta be a bad bitch, but she can't be better than me. Right. You know what I mean? Like, her body's gotta be in shape, but can't be that much better than mine. But mine's not in shape right now. You know what I mean? It's all these things that are going through my head that Keon's just like, peace out. This is obviously not happening.
How about if he does bring a bad bitch, and she's not better than you, but she's equivalent to you?
So basically, it's just me.
Yeah, it's
I just need another me for sex.
There you go.
I don't know.
I feel like why? Like I feel like we need the extra. They don't need the extra. They can barely handle what they get now. And I know that this is across the board for women dealing with men or masculine presenting women. Like,
see, I never even knew that it was the same way for masculine presenting women.
Well, for Shantae it is. I be like, babe. And Shantae just be like, and I was sitting there like, well, kudos to me. I did a great job, but wake your ass up. And then she always does it, just give me a little break or just let me take a nap.
Hilarious. I just need a break. I have to give Keon his flowers in this moment because this dude could go all night, all day. Before kids, we were fucking like 4 times a day. And then after kids, I'm just like, okay, at least once a day. But I mean, fuck, like, yeah, this dude can go like all night, and I'm just like, I need a break.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it is great. It is great. He probably needs another woman. I don't know. He probably needs.
Speaks for yourself, Shay.
My husband needs a wife, so I don't know. But
that's awesome, though.
But I do really want to have a threesome. I just don't. I think I need to just get it out of the way, and it needs to be one of those things where I'm just like drunk or something, or like I've often thought about like not sex parties, but like what are those like clubs or whatever you like where you like go around and like.
Ooh, I've gone to those.
Yeah, like Pandora's Box or something. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
What's that?
Swingers.
Well, okay, so here's the thing about swingers, though, because he has these swinger jokes, right? And so swingers will approach him after a comedy show, and most of the time they're like white, or they're like, they look like those stereotypical like porn girls with like big ass fake boobs, but like no butt. You know what I mean? Like we've never there needs to be a club of like good looking swingers, and I feel like I haven't seen it.
I don't know. I know they exist in LA because it's Hollywood, right? I just don't know where. I know in New York, I went to a lot of them. I never participated. Let me be very clear. And it's nothing against no one who does. I just wasn't bold enough at the time, and I'm terrified of diseases. We talked about this. It's not worth the infection, right? So
it's not.
but I would go all the time because I was so intrigued. But the thing that would turn me off all the time is the smell. I'm gonna be completely, because women just smell different, you know, and it was just too many smells. It was just too many.
And it's like enclosed in this space.
Yeah, and
that makes a lot of sense.
Then the smell of men musk. I don't like the smell of. That's why I'm a lesbian.
Yeah, I probably would have walked out too because I'm huge on smell. So I would have walked in and been like, nope, I gotta go.
It bothered me so much, and I was like, ugh. And
that's good to
everyone's kissing each other, so everyone's like, right here smells like breath. Like everyone, and I was like, this is not sexy. It's nice to watch, but I could never.
And the disease thing is always a final hang up for me. Even if we found, like, there were some girls that had kind of like, you know, said to Keon, like, oh, I'd be interested. And I was like, oh, she's cute. I'm like, but there's that other variable that like we can never get past.
I would
not. You can always just show, like with me, with every sexual partner I've had, which was always my boyfriend or fiance, always show results. Literally.
But what about those
results? Let me see.
And what if it was last night? What if you showed me your results from last Tuesday, but last night you was out being a hoe?
But what about the dormancy, right? But like things can be dormant and not show up for like 5 years.
The cyber condom.
Bring out the aliens.
But yeah, it's I don't know. We should definitely look for us a party. Oh wait, me and my cousin, they weren't good looking though. I'm be honest with you. We went to
wait, there's a party that you haven't told us about?
Last year. Right before me and Shantae got serious, me and my cousin Nicole, hey Nikki, she loves freaky shit with me. We went to like a sexy party.
Oh, was it like oh my god, the name's escaping me. Sorry, continue.
But I can't remember her name either. But I do know they were
pleasure party. Okay,
because they weren't selling toys.
Okay,
they were. It was all whipped cream, chocolate, syrup, ice. Dancers, male and female. A lot of people were walking around naked. But they weren't attractive. So the whole time we were sitting in the back like, ew, this is a zoo. This is literally, it was bad. I mean, and it was a male stripper, and the women were acting like savages.
Oh my god, yeah.
See, they gonna eat him up.
I'm like, men don't know. Like, y'all think you guys act one way at strip clubs? Oh yeah. Women are so touchy and aggressive. Oh my god,
they be sucking dick all the time. They do. They suck dick all the time at these.
Yeah, don't be confused. Women love to suck dick, okay? If she's not sucking your dick, that's a problem. Because women like to suck dick.
Yeah. Your dick is the problem.
That's wild.
Dicks don't make me cringe. The word girth does. I'm sorry.
Girth?
Girth bothers me so much. I don't know.
It's a funny word.
Girth.
It reminds me of Bertha. I don't know why. The name Bertha. That bothers me, but girth reminds me of Bertha.
Girth.
I don't know. It's weird.
Anyway.
So none of us have been to sex parties, basically? Or no, you said you've been to some in New York and you've never been to
I've never been to a sex party. And I don't know if it was the movie Pandora's Box or what it was. Do you guys remember that? Yeah, but
they had low budget?
Definitely low budget. And you hit the head on the whatever, the nail, I don't know what it is. Crayon in the box? Yeah, that thing.
I love
and
her.
they went to this it was like a club. They had one in San Francisco, and I think it was called Pandora's Box. But anyways, it was a club, and you would go in, and people were doing different things in different rooms. But I'd never been. I never had the balls to go.
I've never been to an actual sex party, but I went to a lot of, when I first moved to LA, I went to a lot of different mansion parties. And one time this person was like, oh, let me show you the rest of the house because you've been here a few times and you look like you're cool and I can trust you. I'm like, okay, cool. So then we go downstairs to this, I didn't even know there was a downstairs. It looked like just like a regular floor like this, and you lifted it up and you go down. And then when you go down, it's a whole sex dungeon. It's almost like the 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I was going to say like 50 Shades of Grey.
And you walk in and it's like every room had like different lights, different couches, different toys, different settings. And I was walking around like, am I gonna get locked in here? Like, because I was scared. I was like, my dumbass was like, okay, let's go. What do you got there?
Right. What do these handcuffs do?
Right. I was like, but anyways, it was so crazy and so cool. And he was like, oh, I'll totally invite you when we have parties down here. And he was, long story short, I never went because I was like, well, this is some crazy stuff. And I didn't know. I was
down
so new
here.
To it, and I was just like, what are they gonna do to me?
Right.
So anyways, yeah, that was the closest that I've ever gotten to a real sex party.
I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but Keon was telling me that there's a way to identify yourself if you're a swinger. Did we talk about this last time? I don't think so.
We can talk about it.
Okay, so if let's say we're in a grocery store and somebody was like, they're a swinger and like, oh, I want to swing with you or whatever. They put a pineapple in your shopping cart.
What?
To let you know that they're interested.
If somebody put a pineapple in my shopping cart, I'd be like, oh, excuse me, sir, ma'am.
Right. Wrong. This isn't your cart.
Right.
What is that?
Bitch.
Then I'm like, oh, she's not there.
Is that like saying the safe word? You know, pineapple is the safe
Right.
word.
I don't know why pineapple. I don't know what is the significance of the fruit. Like,
but what
also,
if we're not in the supermarket?
Also that
Like,
too.
you have to go to the grocery store to be able to
What
be
if I'm buying
invited for
skates?
swingers?
Right.
What do you do?
Like, but I'm just like, it's just everyone at the grocery store. I mean, I guess everybody does go at some point, but I'm just like, this is very interesting. Like, where is this happening?
Yeah, that's weird. That's
so
crazy.
now, if you ever see that happen, you know what's going on.
Yo,
I'm gonna be like,
be
you
walking
don't want me?
Right. I'm gonna be walking around if I see anybody
With
putting a
pineapple.
I'm like, ooh, I know what
Where'd you
you're
get that
doing.
pineapple?
I'm a stand by the pineapple section.
Right?
Like, are you picking it up? Are
Just
you gonna put it
wait,
in
just
my cart?
hiding out.
Nothing, just swinging around.
Right.
Is that like universal? Or like maybe LA code?
I have no. So I think that he was in Vegas because that's a big like swinging area.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's where he learned about it. But I could be wrong.
If you guys know what the swinger code is, please tell us in the comment section. Let us know what the swinger code is,
What is
because we're
the
going to try it
swinger
out and see what happens in the grocery store.
That would be hilarious. We
Can you
just
imagine
go
somebody
around
throws
putting
a pineapple at
pineapples.
your head?
We'll be in jail.
Right.
Oh my god.
Kicked
Oh
out.
my God.
Can you imagine if we just, as a joke, just went to the grocery store right now and picked up pineapple and was like shopping around like
All three of
put it in
us, like,
somebody's right, and put it in somebody's cart? I wonder what
Find
they
an
would
old
do.
white lady.
what if your children are with you? Or like, you
And
know what
then
I
you just
mean?
give that, you know,
I know
that
that gay men, I don't remember what it is, but a couple of my gay friends told me years ago, like they have a thing that they say to each other.
Like a code word?
Yeah, like even if they're on the down low, what they would say to each other. I forgot what it is. I'm gonna ask him. Terry, I'm gonna call you this week because we gonna find out what that word is.
I would love to know just if you like hear it in passing, but then at the same time, are we outing them if we say it? I mean, it's like the pineapple thing. Like, who's really?
I just want to know.
I want to know too.
I wanna know.
Please find out.
Yeah,
I want to know too. Why not? I want to know all the secret codes.
I know, right? For we probably missing out on all the good talk and tea
all the time.